DataSource is a feature designed to organize your business-related data that you want to display on your website, serving as a data source for testimonials, services, coaches, teachers, teams, and more. This tutorial will guide you through the process of creating custom data sources within the Boniii CMS platform. You will learn how to define fields, configure settings, and effectively manage data entries. Now we are in the admin panel. In the sidebar menu, you will find the Data Source menu. Click on it to be redirected to the Data Source page. Now you are on the Data Source listing page. On the top right side, you will see the Add Data Source button, which you can click to create a new data source. Click the Add Data Source button to start creating a new data source in your set. When you click the Add Data Source button, the Add Data Source form will open. Here, you need to enter the data source name and select the data source type. Click Select Data Source Type to choose the type of data source you want to create. After selecting data source type, you will encounter various options, including simple, multi-section, and multi-part. You can choose the type that best fits your requirements. After filling in the data source name and data source type, click the Save Data Source button to save it. After saving the data source, you will be redirected to its configuration page. For example, if you created a data source named Testimonial, you will now be on the Testimonial Data Source config page, where you need to set up the schema and grid config. Click Add Field to begin defining a new field within your data source. When you click the Add Field button, a modal opens to allow you to add a new field as shown. To create the field, you must enter the label, placeholder, class name, and select the field type. If you wish to apply validation, you can also choose the required validation option. When you click on Select Field Type, you will see different options such as text, number tesserae, email, checkbox, radio, select, date, file manager, and editor. You need to choose the field type according to the type of input you want to create. After filling in the Add Field form, click the Save button to save the field. Here you can see that we have successfully created one field called Name. If you want to add more fields, you can follow the same process by clicking Add Field and creating additional fields as needed. Click on Grid Config to customize the display of data in the grid. As you can see, after clicking Grid Config, you have reached the grid configuration setup. Here you need to fill in details such as slug name, search by, and sorting columns. After completing the schema and grid config setup, click the Save button to save the schema builder. Now we will set up the segment. To do this, click on the Segment tab at the top to access the segment page. As you can see, we are now on the segment page. Here you will see the list of segments that you create. To create a segment query, click the Add Data Source Query button, and then create your query. When you click Add Data Source Query, a form modal opens to create the query. Here you can build a query to display your data. To create the query, fill in the form with the following details. Query name. Select fields. Description, optional. If you want to show all data, keep Enable Query Builder turned off. If you want to display data based on specific query conditions, turn Enable Query Builder on. After that, configure the options below. Sorting configuration. Search configuration. Pagination configuration. Once everything is set, you can proceed with saving the query. Click Save to store your data source query. If you want to add, update, or delete data in the data source, you need to click on the Data tab. As you can see, we are now on the Data page. Currently, there is no data available, but to add new data, you need to click the Add Record button. Click Add Record to input new data into your data source. You can see the form for adding a record, which is generated from the data source schema fields we created earlier. Because of this, the fields in this form match the schema structure. Now you just need to fill in the fields and create the data record. Click Save to store the new record in your data source. You have successfully created and configured a custom data source in Boniii CMS, including defining fields, setting validations, and adding records. Next, explore advanced query options or integrate your data source with your CMS pages for dynamic content management.